Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest episodes of, God, almost said Dangerous Thoughts. Technically Trek with David Katie. Sooner or later that was going to happen,
Well,
but yeah, what's that?
we are in the presence of dangerous thoughts tonight,
Well,
in mem
if it wasn't for Dangerous Thoughts, this show would not exist. So, got to give props to Mono and Tyson for making this all happen. So, yay!
and
But
if it
as the
wasn't
main
for Omni, I wouldn't be part of Dangerous Thoughts or technically Trek, so yay!
But I am your humble host, Dave Prime, and over yonder there is the corruptible Captain Katie. Say, how are you doing
The
today? I
corruptible.
do you want to share with what happened just a few minutes before the show started? It,
Oh, well, usually I have my computer and everything in my room, mobility and all that, but I always come through here for the shows, and when I was bringing my keyboard through, it nearly fell off the little table. I stood on something and I hurt my bad foot. But
like,
yeah, so you nearly didn't have a co-host tonight. But that may not be such a bad thing. You know,
oh hush.
with no,
Well, lately,
with how I start ranting, I'm surprised we have any viewers. So thank you,
yeah,
everyone, for watching my ranting.
yeah, saying well, we are in a new night and a new time because like life gets in the way, and I had an opportunity to further my sobriety journey. So as many of you know, it's like I'm like going on 46 days now without a drink of alcohol, and I'm going to
That's
keep
amazing.
on going. And my high school reunion here in just a little over a month now, like that's going to be a real test. But
Yeah.
speaking of tests, that's kind of like the crew is like testing each other with what we're talking about, the fifth season episode I Borg. And it was a bit of a
I
doozy
haven't got
because
my
I mean,
notes.
oh, good, because right now it's just us in our notes. So hopefully Tyson, I know he said he was going to be a bit tardy. Same because again, new night, new time.
I haven't got my notes with me. I've left them in my room.
Oh no. Well, well, if you need to go run, get them. Go get them before you get too
Mm.
comfortable. It'll be more difficult to get at.
Actually, yeah, good point. I'll be back in a moment. Just talk amongst yourselves.
Well, just talk amongst me. But I mean, this is an open forum, so I mean, if you want to chime in, if you watch the episode or if you haven't watched it but remember it, saying just shoot Katie a message on Twitter/X. I mean, for me, it's always going to
Yellow.
be yeah, it's always going to be Twitter.
Yeah,
Um,
always be Twitter. Ow.
uh,
I've been a
and
really bad note taker. I only have that many notes today. I didn't know what to write. I
yeah,
really didn't. And what I've got down is gobbledygook. Although, even though like the majority of my notes are always gobbledygook and strange rantings and usually a lot of cursing in my notes, but today there isn't. And I'm very surprised at that. But
yeah,
there's There's only like
okay.
one thing of relevance that I've really got in this, and I don't even know if it's anything. So,
What is it?
well, the note of relevance that I've got is what Beverly says.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a collective or a hive. I see a living, breathing boy who has been hurt and who needs our help. And we're talking about sending him back to his people as an instrument of destruction. Now, the note I've got down with that quote is that where the writers of Voyager got the idea for Icheb
Mm.
because I mean, don't get me wrong, very different circumstances, but he was genetically engineered to kill Borg by getting assimilated and infecting them.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, got an itchy finger.
And so I'm wondering if the writers kind of leached a little bit off the Hugh situation, but turned it into something different and a bit more unique.
Hmm.
Because it's very opposite, yet very similar circumstances. A young boy being used as a weapon of destruction to annihilate the Borg. And it I mean I haven't seen iBorg for good few years now.
Yeah,
Um
until this afternoon, it's the same for me. So it's been a real crazy busy
mm,
past couple of days for me. So
but no, watching it, especially knowing like the Icheb storyline, I am so sorry. I think I have an eyelash. Um that's not in its right place. Um but yeah, it does make you wonder, and I'm beginning, because I mean it's like it wouldn't be the first time that Star Trek have done this and have like
mhm.
recycled storylines but just rewritten them a little bit. I mean, you've got, what, I can't remember the name of the episode. I'm terrible with episode names. I'm a bad Trekkie. But
Well, chances are
the
pretty good. You tell me about it, I'll figure it out.
the episode of Next Gen where Riker is accused of murder,
A matter of perspective.
right? A matter of perspective. And then there's the episode of Voyager where Tom Paris is.
Ex post facto.
Yes.
I am
So
so. No,
those
what?
two
I
storylines are very similar in, but yet very different at the same time. But the premise is there. They get accused of murder. It turns out, I mean, don't get me wrong. In Next Gen, it turns out the guy kills himself trying to kill Riker.
mm-hmm.
But with Tom, he's framed and he's used. Well, they try and use him to communicate with the enemy, but it's a very similar premise. And I mean that is a perfect example of Star Trek recycling storylines. So I'm just wondering if they've done it with this storyline for Voyager, but made it a bit more original than the matter of perspective Voyager episode.
Hmm. And that's definitely something to kind of explore a little more because allergies gotta love them.
Oh yeah.
That's going to Child's Play is going to be the next episode we're going to talk about. So
Oh,
yeah, so maybe we can
that is
get
one of my favorite episodes.
maybe we can get lucky and get Manu into the chat for that one.
Could always ask him.
Yeah,
I mean, you see him more than I do, so.
yeah. And I can just text them like, "Hey, do you want to be on my show next week?"
Well, you never know. You can but ask. There will only be two answers, yay or nay.
Yeah, it all depends on how well his heterosexual life mate is doing that day too. So, but I mean, in a
Very
situation
true.
like this, he can do it straight from home. He doesn't have to drive the 30 odd minutes to come up here to do it. So,
Very true. But yeah, ask him because I mean, oh my God, I mean, Child's Play. That is one of my favorite Voyager episodes ever. Um, like that and Perfection.
hmm
They
that's
are
another
like
good
my two favorite episodes. I mean, don't get me wrong, the double episodes that we've already covered,
one.
of Voyager, they're up there as well as Unimatrix Zero. But when it comes to Child's Play and Perfection, you get to see a very different side of Seven and Icheb.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show how close they've got, how their relationship has evolved so quickly
Hmm.
and so solidly. Kind of like how Geordie and Hugh kind of connected
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, because it's just not just Jordy. Of course, Jordy was like the big one of the big connections there because that we revisit it when Lore tries to corrupt a bunch of the Borg that got waylaid from
Yeah.
Hugh's individuality in Descent.
Mm.
So,
Oh yeah. I do like this episode. It's not one of my favorites, I will admit, but I do like it. And my two favorite things about it are Patrick Stewart's performance, because, as soon as he found out that there was Borg down there,
hmm,
just the emotion that he puts into his performances are
oh,
amazing.
absolutely.
Yes, he is initially a theatrical actor, but the way that he portrays Picard is exquisite,
Oh, yeah,
and
because I
even that
mean,
is an understatement.
and he's clearly conflicted throughout the entire episode
Yeah,
when they first say that there's a Borg on the planet, and he's like, "You know, leave it," and saying, but
yeah,
then he's like, he kind of relents to Dr. Crusher and can just like, "Thank you, Captain." And I mean, even Data, when Picard went to his ready room, just the way Data just turned and just looked at Troy, he didn't say a word, just like, "You need to check on him."
yeah. I was actually just going to mention Data. That's really the only scene that Data has, isn't it? Though in
Pretty
this
much, yeah.
episode, yeah.
Yes.
But just in that, it says a hell of a lot about Data, because it he's not supposed to have emotion. And even though his face was pretty neutral with like in that scene,
Well, I wouldn't say
it
completely neutral, but I mean, he did like show like concern. And he just
yeah,
kind
but this is what I mean by pretty neutral. He was quite neutral, but there was just that little hint as if to say, "Oh, holy hell, you know, you need to speak to Deanna. Deanna, go." Without actually saying anything. But yeah, even though that was Data's only scene, it it was quite powerful for me. And and as well that a lot of conversations in this episode,
of.
a lot of quite heated conversations. And when I say heated, I don't mean just raised voices. I just mean the content of the conversations were pretty intense. Um, but yeah, hats off to Patrick Stewart. He is one of my favorite actors, and especially when it comes to the Borg, he's got it down.
Oh yeah.
'Cause that's the only time you really see Picard flip is when the
Oh
Borg are
yeah.
involved.
Mm-hmm. That was my where'd my notes
And
go?
he went through something very traumatic with the Borg. He did.
Mm.
And, hats off to Picard himself for handling it the way he does. But the Borg do make him flip out. And even though this was like, I think, wasn't this the first encounter with the Borg that he had since his assimilation?
Yeah. I
Yeah, and I
darn
think he
sure.
handled it quite well. I don't think I'd have handled it that well, to be quite honest.
Well, I mean, even that, just like after Troy goes into Picard's ready room and just like, are you okay? And he's like, oh, I'm fine. She leaves and just looks like, like a Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman voice. Picard is not fine.
No. And again, the emotion on it, like that he has, it it's so intense. I love you, Marla. Oh, you have notes, my darling. I love that. And I love her next comment.
Yeah, yeah. But also the fact that Picard calls for Crusher for a medical away team, and they go down to the planet. It's just her.
Yeah, um, that confused me
Yeah,
very much.
I'm watching it again. It's like, where's the team?
Well, yeah, because it was just Beverly, Worf, and Riker. That is not a medical team.
No,
That is
I mean
that is
we know.
like half an away team and one medical officer. And it's like that
Yeah,
isn't even a full team. You've got a doctor, so like one part of a medical team, and then two officers, which are like two parts of usually a four-party away team.
yeah, and like Worf's medical expertise pretty much just consists of delivering Molly.
Well, yeah, so like, if any of the Borg were going into labour, it'd have been, it'd have been absolutely fine. I
Push,
do
mechanical
apologize.
menace, push.
Exactly, so if the Borg ever need a midwife, call on Worf. Um, and if there's any female Borg, even though they're technically genderless, Riker can always seduce them. Um, and if any of them become injured, Beverly can heal them. So that is actually quite a good away team. You've got maternity, seduction, and medical, like general medical.
Oh, and Tyson's missing all this, but I got a text from him. He's going to be late, but he's going to be here. I haven't seen him yet, so.
I will be having words with him live on air about him being tardy.
Well, he's got his reasons.
Laundry.
Oh, that's right. Because he's on vacation, so he can't use work as an excuse.
Exactly. I think I've broken Marla. I
Oh, gee.
apologize, darling. But no, yeah, the away team thing, it always, like right throughout, I just kept thinking that like that was not a medical away team. That was a medical person.
And we love
We
you too,
love you
Mala.
too, darling.
We can't wait till you're
Um,
able to live with us.
oh, definitely. But no, that is definitely something that I was complaining about profusely actually during the episode because it's not often that they make that mistake
Hmm.
unless I mean, the thing is that they couldn't even, they knew that it was, well, no, they didn't know that it was Borg down there actually
Until they
until they got
tell
there. But
in cue opening credits.
I mean, fair enough that have had a medical team standing by in sick bay, but be- and but but no, I mean, it still doesn't make sense. If the medical team was waiting in sick bay or in the the cat had been waiting in the transporter room. They'd have just beamed him straight to sick bay.
Mm.
But because Hugh was transferred straight into detainment, it yeah, it was just it. I'm so confused right now. I really am. But I don't really have any notes. Like I said, the correlation between this and Voyager, but I've just got really random notes. One includes I love Guinan, and I don't even know what that's about. So your guess is as good as mine.
Well, it probably has to do with, I mean, when it comes to the Borg, we know that from the second season that they're the ones responsible for spreading her species throughout the galaxy. I think even though like in the second season, I think she said throughout the universe, but then she said throughout the galaxy in this episode, which kind of corrected that
Yeah.
little oopsadiddle in the script.
Well, I
Not to
mean,
not to pop and
universe,
watch Who
galaxy,
again.
cosmos, it's all the same difference, really. Just the amount of space. The galaxy is within the universe that is in the cosmos. It or universe is cosmos. It's all relative. And I'm
Potato,
sorry,
potato.
I've had extreme lack of sleep, so I may ramble.
Well, but I mean, you can't say that fully because what the other day you had over 10 hours of sleep, which is like a week for you.
That's like, I mean, was it 2 days ago? It actually wasn't as much as I thought. It was about 8 or 9 hours, but that's still a lot of sleep for me. And the 3 weeks previous to that, I had about 15 hours in total in that space of 3 weeks. So, so in like a month, yeah, 'cause it's now like 4 weeks. It's now 4 weeks. Um, and so like in like the space of a month, I've had what, about 25 hours, kid.
Oy.
Yeah.
But going off on a slight technically trek tangent, it's like I've driven over 1,500 miles for Lyft in like the last five
Wow.
days. Yeah, say Saturday I was just popping around the springs and it was abnormally quiet. So it's like, I'm gonna go down to Pueblo because last time I was in Pueblo I did pretty good on money. I took a
Hmm.
quick break, I turned my phone back on, then all of a sudden, pop, someone needed to go to Loveland, Colorado, a 2.5 hour drive. I was just like, dang, yes, I'm gonna take that. That one trip was more than what I made the entire day. But by the time I got up there, it was getting late, it was getting dark, and I texted Cassie and said, I'm probably going to just spend the night up here. So I went around till dusk, and then that's when the rain came, and I spent the night at the hotel. Came back down on Sunday, and made, darn it, made it in time for the show, the main DT show, and then on Monday morning, I look at my phone just to see if there's any like scheduled trips, and there was someone that needed to go from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. I was just like, oh, twice in 3 days. It's like, woohoo! And for the first time ever, they say I had the car paid for on Monday.
Yes, that was really good. It's always good to start your week off like that because usually
Oh yeah.
Mondays are shite.
Well, I've had days that have gotten close to it, but I still needed like 4 or 5 trips on Tuesday to get into the black. But nope, I was in the black on Monday. And then yesterday, saying I got a trip, not some of that from the spring, well, from Colorado Springs Airport to Denver Airport. So just like that was fun.
I'm glad you've had a good week. I mean, it's only halfway through the week as
Hmm.
well. Um,
I got another trip going to Denver Airport at 6:30 tomorrow morning.
oh, not very early then.
No, well, it is early. It's about an hour. Well, picking up around it pickups at 6:45, so that's about 15 minutes before I usually get out the door for the morning. The last couple of days because they're doing road work in the neighborhood, which requires no street parking after 7 a.m.
Ah, so what time will you have to be leaving the house then?
Um, about 6:15, 6:30. So
That's not
try to
too bad then.
no, and I gassed up before I came home tonight, so but I won't be able to take to the car wash.
So
But
what,
still,
you'd have to be up by about 5.
well, up at 5, yeah, up
Yeah,
at 5 in the bathroom doing my morning business.
that'll be what, 12 noon my time.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, yeah, you're 7 hours behind me. I come from the future, people. I don't know if anybody watching knows that, but I am always in the future, unless
Okay.
you're east of me, and then I'm in the past along with the US. I don't like to think about that though.
Anyways, back to the episode and saying that Picard was pretty quick to come to the decision to use Q as a virus carrier to decimate the Borg.
Really,
It,
and I think he was a bit slow off the mark with that one.
well, no, it's like it's on my very first page. It's like not long after he had the conversation with Troy saying that he was fine, but
Yeah, but we
but
don't know exactly how long, how much time has passed between that conversation and him going to see
the brig.
Q in detainment. Um, so we really don't know exactly how long it's taken for him to come up with that. But
But in terms of the episode itself, it was pretty early on.
yeah, it was. But unless they were going to turn it into a double episode, which I don't. I mean, to be quite honest, I'd love to have seen it as a double episode, and I would love to have seen more of a evolution of the storyline rather than it being so quick. I think we could have got more emotion in that and more psychology into it because, I like my psychobabble.
Mm.
But no, I do think that there could have been, like, if it was to have been put into a double episode, I do think that it could have been done. Um, it'd have been a lot more emotional if if it was turned into a double episode, but it could have worked. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that
Uh,
that's just me, myself, and I.
I'm not sure. I mean, hmm, I'm I'm not sure. It's an interesting thought.
I mean, like I say, it would have had a much slower progression,
Hmm.
but and I'm not saying that it went too quickly. I'm not. I'm just saying that I think they could have got away with making it a double episode and having it a little bit different. I mean, still having like the storyline is the same, but just expand on it and get into the heads of everyone a little bit more, especially Picard, because all throughout, I mean, I know that there was the episode after, um, oh, for crying out loud, Best of Both Worlds, when he goes back to Earth and rolls around in the vineyard with his brother, there's there was that, but apart from that, the only time that we really do get deep into Picard's head is the movie First Contact.
Yeah.
And we only saw the tiniest little bit of his head in this, and I think they could have expanded on that. Especially with what happened in, I don't know the name of the episode. Is it Family or
Yeah.
something? Yeah, yay me. Um, I'll celebrate properly later. Um, but no, I know that we saw a lot of what was in Picard's head in Family, but even still, we only scratched the surface with that knowledge. And the majority, to be honest, the majority of people that I've spoken to about this just see it as Picard suffered trauma. He had a bit of, he went, he had a breakdown. He got over it, and then when it was like this episode, Borg, he had a little bit of a hissy fit, but then he was fine, and then he was absolutely fine when Law decides to be king of the Borg, but it isn't until First Contact that we really get to see what's in his head when it comes to the Borg. And I do think that it could have been played with a little bit more. Because up until then, you never really you never really knew Picard. You did, you know a hell of a lot about him. He is an outstanding officer. He loves his history. He is very respectful. He has more of a heart than people realize. However, up until First Contact, we don't know him. And I think that is a little bit of a mistake they made with Picard. But the way that Patrick Stewart portrays him, the emotion he allows to show, that helped with that. Like throughout the seasons. But yeah, it they could have done to have got a bit more psychological with this episode, I think. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
It's a good opinion. I just texted Tyson again, just like, he said it'll be a little bit late. We're at 37 minutes late now, so. But
And we'll be having words with him.
like that when I really had to rack my brain to say maybe when Tyson shows up and see if I'm on the right path here. This is the first time we've seen Picard fencing since that first season episode. Will always have Paris when when
Yeah,
they're
that's a
dealing with
point.
those with those time hiccups. But Guinan was of course being a wise sage, as I wrote in my notes yet again, and say
Yeah.
you felt sorry for me and see what happened. As she
Oh yeah. And I knew she. I mean, I've forgotten so much of this episode. I didn't even realize Guinan played such a big part in this episode. I completely
oh
forgot
yeah
so much. I really did. but it was quite evident by the look on her face when he said, "Shall we go again?" It was quite evident she was going to pull something like that.
Mm.
But that is Guinan's style, you know. If she don't get through to somebody the first time, she finds a way to get through to them, and they were in the perfect setting for her to get through to him in a different way. So I'm I'm liking her style very much. And
I
you
was
know,
just
sorry,
there. He
what?
is.
The who, what, where? Oh,
Tyson.
well, it's about bloody time, love. How dare you be late?
Well, like I said, I had that laundry to do, and um, I because of how in use that washer is, I had to. I couldn't be an hour on this show and then an hour on the radio net, and then go to the washer because somebody else would have got it. So
Hey, Callie.
Oh, Callie, good morning, baby.
she always has to interrupt and have her say, right the second I sit down. She just lost herself in the hamper because it's empty for the first time. So she actually slid to the bottom and had to crawl out. It was hilarious.
I love that.
Yeah, but we've been kind of mostly talking about the episode. We've kind of delved into other stuff like the descent and first contact, and little bit of Child's Play, which will be next week's episode.
Oh yeah,
So this week's episode is
Borg.
Borg.
okay. This is where we meet Hugh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, a show I remember.
And you got some hair coming up the left side
Yeah,
of your head.
it's oh my god. Well, I haven't even changed from yesterday because I'm doing laundry and everything's in the wash or ready to be washed. Hello, cat. Ow. Anyway, so yeah, my hair is a mess. I'm sweating like a freaking hooker in church. I'm trying to drink my Pedialyte because it's 100 degrees out here. And then, there's no air conditioning in the laundry room. It's 100 degrees outside. So imagine, the washer's going, the dryer's going. It's 100 outside. There's no AC inside. And the good news is I lost 10 pounds since noon.
No, none of the medical away team can help you, Tyson.
But, what can I do?
Well, no, we were
You
talking
missed that.
we were talking about that earlier when Picard orders Crusher to prepare a medical away team. He's the only one that beats down.
With Riker and Worf, so I mean, you missed it earlier because I turned around and said, "Well, if any of the Borg give birth, Worf is on hand as midwife. If there are any female Borg, even though they're technically genderless, Riker can seduce them into submission, and
Right.
then if any of them get injured in the process, there's a medical doctor there." So, yeah.
No, I love it. One of my favorite things about the episode is the moral dilemma that Picard is faced with, right? And of course, it's Whoopi Goldberg heavy episode, who initially is on Picard's side, right? Whoopi is all about destroy them anyway you can. Picard is right there with her, and then she gets to know him, and then she suggests Picard gets to know him. And this is after the whole fencing thing, which I thought was the best kind of metaphor, right? When she strikes him with the foil and she said, "You felt sorry for me. Look where it got you."
Yeah, I was just mentioning that just right before you popped on, and then Mala's popped in too. Yay! Hi, Mala.
Hello. How are you guys?
pretty good. How about you?
God, I feel like I haven't talked to you for at least 24 hours.
Has it been that long?
No,
Maybe.
Too long.
it hasn't even been 24 hours.
Ow, ow, ow. You remember this
me a
thing
mala.
that is it's gonna just
Oh.
be me all night.
I worship you.
Mwah. She's not happy about it.
No, I think I'd get on very well with Callie. I think that she would become my partner in crime.
She can have my everything.
If you stroke her fur and call her a good kitty, she'll sit in your
Bite
lap
you.
and she'll be so sweet. But when you toss her in the bed and say, "Go away, I'm trying to work," then she becomes
Screw you. Mhm.
yeah, she becomes claws and teeth.
And you know, this is a perfect example of what's wrong with humanity. Humanity never learns. If you was to just allow Callie to fall asleep on your lap, you could get your work done, you could do the show absolutely with perfection. But you don't learn. And you
Here's
play.
what happened. Here's what happened. She fell asleep during a meeting at work on camera, right? She's in my lap, stroking her. Nobody even knows. Although they wonder what my hand is doing down here when they can't see. Just see this movement, right? And I don't want like a CNN Jeffrey Tubin kind of thing.
You're stroking
So
your pussy.
I'm like, whatever.
What's wrong
So
with that? We need to normalize this.
Right. Just like Betty Slocum, right? My pussy. Anyway, so I'm doing this, and she falls asleep. Everything's fine, and then she rolls. Right? She realizes she's about to fall out of my lap and does this with her claws. And so I shriek and stand up, clinging to my thigh with every single of her 10 nails on top and her 10 nails on bottom dug in for dear life. I'm bleeding out of my leg. The vice president of Medicare Membership Administration is doing this at me in the camera, like,
is he okay?
And I then decide, maybe having the cat in my lap while I'm working is not a good idea. So she gets ejected. So if I'm looking down and it looks like I'm not paying attention, I am, but I cannot let her fall asleep because she'll roll, she'll claw, and then I'll be the one stuck to the ceiling.
That's the life of being a servant to a cat.
Oh my God. She's
I
demanding.
think we killed Katie.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, I'm glad she found that funny. It wasn't. I didn't mean to be funny. I'm just telling it like it is. That's what happened.
Well,
Oh
it's
my
funny
God,
because
I'm
it's all
so
true.
sorry. I am so sorry. Oh my God, I've been laughing ever since she said I don't know what they thought I was doing because they couldn't see my hand. And then it just got worse from there.
It was like last night.
He must have thought that was one hell of an orgasm when I jumped up and went, "Ah."
God.
Anyone new that's watching, this is the technically portion of technically trash.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We get a little sidetracked, but it's fun. I still can't get over this one.
Pasteurized milk. Yeah, I love that. It's the dumbest sign language joke I've ever seen in my life, and there's a lot of dumb ones, but that one was dumb.
That's like Ross on Friends. Or what did you become? Something like that. Yeah.
I think it was this.
It was.
Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah.
I've been known to do that on occasion.
Oh my God, he was dumb, but he was gorgeous. I love Italians.
Was it that?
I don't think David Schwimmer is Italian. Or are you talking Joey?
Joey, sorry, not Ross. Joey. Joey was always the cute one.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Have you seen him recently? It's like, oh,
I loved Chandler.
Oh,
I thought he was the best.
Didn't he die?
He did. That is such a sad loss. Like, I adored Matthew Perry.
And it was just after the reunion too, the Friends reunion, which was only a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Matthew Perry's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew Perry does.
What?
He accidentally overdosed, I think, and he had some heart issue, and he got into a he took too many of his meds, but
And he
because
drowned.
he got into a hot tub and he was having a heart
What?
issue.
Oh, was
Yeah.
it the beginning of this year?
It was like end of last year.
2023, I think.
It was
Yeah, I
2020.
completely forgot about that. Oh my god.
I know. That's heartbreak, right? It's
Oh
always the
my
good
god.
ones.
I love Chandler even more now.
He was good. He was in a few other things too, not just Friends.
You know
but
what he was on that he was really well known for when he first started? He was on Growing Pains as Kirk Cameron's buddy who died in a car accident because of drinking and driving. And that's what really had launched his career. And then after that, you saw him on Who's the Boss? And then he started making all the rounds on the shows.
Was he Beverly Hills 90210? Was Matthew Perry
No.
on that? Okay. I knew there were some other gorgeous actors.
Heather Locklear. Arrgh.
Heather, yeah, but she'd already
Seen on there.
That was
I
my.
love Phoebe Friends, Lisa Kudrow. I absolutely adore her.
I do too. Well, I love how Friends is actually a spin-off of Mad About You. Because Ursula, her twin sister, is the waitress at Riff's, the diner in Mad About You.
Oh, that's
and Hank
correct.
Azaria is on both shows.
I liked Mad About You. Empty Nest, I want to say, was a spinoff of the Golden Girls, or the Golden Girls was a spinoff of Empty Nest, one or the other. But that was interesting because Sophia's doctor is the doctor on Empty Nest.
Mm-hmm. And he was also on Soap.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great show.
Yes.
Billy Crystal is Jody.
Billy Crystal played a gay character in the show, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Soap. That's the one.
Oh, it was.
Soap.
He was the gay one on Soap.
And his character's name was Jody. And at first he came out as gay, and then he decided he might be interested in transitioning, and then he decided not to. And then he became a single dad on the show. It was a great show. And Benson was a spinoff of Soap.
Benson was a spinoff of Soap. Robert Guillaume was wonderful. Renee
Aubergine Odo.
Yeah.
Aubergine.
And Neelix. Neelix was on that show.
Well, he was on later episodes. He wasn't on the first several seasons.
He was second season to the end.
Was he second season?
Yeah.
I have to go back and look. Maybe he was.
His character
but I love
name
Benson.
was
In fact, I rewatched it last year.
I love Benson. His character name was Pete.
Pete. I loved the Slavic house lady, whatever
she was. Yeah. Ingrid.
She was hilarious.
And
how she argued with Benson, it was hilarious.
Everybody.
And the governor was a complete dingbat, right? I don't know how he was able to govern.
Neither does he.
Ellie agrees.
I don't know any of these things that you're talking about, so
80s American sitcoms.
Yeah, I've never really done sitcoms in general. There was a few that I used to watch, but not anymore.
I'm like a female version of Randy of the Redwoods. I'm just stuck in the 80s.
Hey, Will and Grace, Golden Girls, and Are You Being Served? If you know those three, you're good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not as familiar with the Golden Girls, but I have seen it. It was a very long time ago, though.
Such a good show.
Are You Being Served and Will and Grace? They are just absolutely, be still my heart. And some others do have them as well. I mean, that was. I am like the female version of Frank Spencer. When it comes to the ditziness, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not as clueless as him sometimes, but his ditziness rivals mine, and I think that we could become friends. I really do. But no, I don't really do sitcoms. I mean, I've just more been for sci-fi and fantasy, in all honesty.
Okay, you guys can't see the camera angle, but she's biting the shit out of me.
I saw that. She's
No,
like
she's
using you as a
been
chew
loving.
toy. Does she live in her harness?
Yes, she lives
That's
in her harness.
awesome.
And then because of that, one, she likes it. She, it's like a hug. She feels comfortable in it. But then when I take her for walks, it's not a challenge because when I pull out the leash, she goes ape shit. She jumps on the bed and starts meowing, and she's like, "Yay, we're going for a walk!" And then I clip on the leash, and she like pulls me out the front door. Like I've never had a cat that was okay with the leash. Like every cat that I had that you try to put a leash on, did death rolls. Like they just didn't. They would not walk on a leash.
I bought them the nicest leashes and harnesses I could find, and as soon as I put them on them, they just flopped on the ground. They're like, "You're gonna have to drag my furry ass." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay." No leash
There
for
again, I
you.
had a dog like
Katie,
I was
you
at
had cats that walked on a leash, right?
Pardon?
I thought you said you had a cat that also walked on a leash.
No, I said that I tried to put I tried to put a harness and a lead on one cat, and it was, let's just say that everybody in the house feared for their life for about a month afterwards. But no, we don't really walk cats over here. Well, we do, but it's more take them to like little woodland areas and things. I mean, people here walk the rabbits and everything in part in the Peak District National Park,
That's
because
adorable.
just not, well, actually not far from me. I'd say probably about 20-30 minute drive. There's Ecclesall Park, and that is actually the start of like the official like Peak District National Park. I mean, where I live is actually the city actually blends into the Peak District National Park. And it goes from Ecclesall Park, but I've seen people walk their rabbits, their cats, their lizards. I've seen people with like bearded dragons walking them with little harnesses on, and I'm just like, oh my god.
The
Adorable.
air quotes. If you opposite your hands and do this is what it looks like from the side. This is the sign for rabbit. This is rabbit.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's the British sign for rabbit. Just rabbit.
Yeah, and for people who don't know, American Sign Language is American Sign Language. It is not English Sign Language, which is completely different. We speak the same language, but we don't sign the same language.
Oh, hello, Mike.
Well,
Mr. Michael.
Oh, they're saying hi.
Oh, my darling.
Hello.
So the Borg, yes.
Yeah,
I can't believe I took notes. You covered half of what I already wrote down.
I was saying one of the things that I wrote down. I think one of the best lines is out of Geordie when he's talking to Guinan, and Guinan's shocked that they gave the Borg a name, and just like, well, it's like, why don't you go and talk to him? And she's like, I got nothing to say. It's like, why don't you just go listen? That's what you're best at. I was like, oh, snap.
That was good. But
oh yeah, that is one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought of almost like within the first 10 minutes of the show is, could this episode be the inspiration for Ichab and the Voyager Borg children?
Thank you. That is exactly what I said right at the beginning of the show. And it is basically the only note I have that is
on the same page.
But no, because I actually wrote the quote down, what Beverly says in the conference room about she only sees a boy, and they're talking about sending him back to his people as a weapon of destruction. I
Yeah,
actually wrote down, did they get the inspiration for each storyline of being bred to destroy Borg? Because Star Trek does like to recycle
they do.
storylines. Because I brought up earlier, matter of perspective from Next Gen, where Riker gets accused of murder, and then the episode of Voyager, so whatever,
You're cutting out
where
really
Tom
bad, Katie.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Oh, am I?
Well, you were. You sound fine
Oh,
now.
sorry. My Wi-Fi is pitching a bit of a hissy fit at the moment. But yeah, and then like obviously you've got that episode with Riker being accused of murder. Then you've got the episode of Voyager where Tom Paris is accused of murder, and they recycled that storyline for Voyager.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if by the time it got to recycling this storyline, they got much better at it, so it wasn't as obvious.
You know that there's more Borg episodes in Voyager than any other Star Trek franchise.
Yeah.
I'd say, Delta Quadrant, big surprise.
Yeah. I like
Well,
the
yeah,
way
I
they
mean-
wanted to check out his eye and he just takes it off and hands it to him. Here
Yeah.
you go.
And Jordy's like, okay.
That was
Yeah,
hilarious.
I like that.
And Jordy
I
had a
love the
lot of
conversation
good
between
lines.
Geordie and-
Sorry,
I love
Katie?
I love the conversation between Geordie and Hugh when they're in the
Lab.
when they're in confinement, not confinement, Jesus Christ now.
The brig.
Yeah,
The
the brig.
detention
Thank you, what you said. Sorry, I'm getting things confused between what I'm writing and what I'm watching. Sorry. Never mind. But when he's fitting the go charge the Borg thing, I don't know what it's called. The Borg charger. And that little
Yeah, the power
conversation.
supply.
Yes, what Marla said.
And it was so small. Just plugged his hand in. It was weird.
Yeah, but that little conversation that they had, I absolutely love that. That is like one of my favorite moments of the show because Geordie's just been himself, and you know, it doesn't have very high regard for the Borg at all. I don't think anybody does. I think I'm the only person who actually likes the Borg, but no, I love that because I think that conversation, just I mean, just basically Geordie not giving a crap.
It's like, I'm human and I'd like to stay that way.
Exactly, but I think that just that little tiny, like 1 minute conversation was the major catalyst for Hugh getting his individuality properly.
Yeah.
And then it just evolved from there.
I wonder if in the episode when he's in the brig and Geordie fixes that thing so that the end of his hand can plug in, and you know, I assume it charges him like an iPad. I don't know, iBorg, iPad. But a Borg needs more than just a recharge, right? They need to regenerate, which is part of their cycle. They have a regeneration cycle where they lose consciousness. No,
Katie's got thoughts.
No, that is their regeneration at this point in the Borg evolution. Plugging in is their regeneration.
they don't lose consciousness during regeneration.
They can do, but their regeneration evolved with their technology. They plugged into regenerate up until Voyager, basically. Well, not Voyager, like First Contact.
Well, their
Voyager.
alcoves had a thing that they, yes, I agree that they had alcoves with the green flashy thing. and they plugged into their alcove. But it seems to me that they were unconscious while they were plugged in. I'd have to go back and
Yes.
look. I honestly don't remember.
Yes, they were. However, because it wasn't a proper power supply, and also not connected to the hive. His connection to the collective was severed, so he wasn't receiving any new information. And I think that is the whole purpose of the Borg, like each drone like losing consciousness when they regenerate, so that information can be taken, information can be given more smoothly. Because if they've got a certain piece of information that they no longer need, that'll get filtered out by the collective, and new information will be added, new tasks to be done if they need to go out for assimilation and things like that. Whereas when Hugh plugged in it on the Enterprise, it was just his voice in it.
Sustainability.
Yeah, so the collective didn't shut him down when he plugged in. He was just regenerating. He wasn't,
Yeah.
he
Well, he was
wasn't receiving
recharging,
any
right?
information. But then with their evolution, they just did, because it was basically wireless charging. Once they
You know,
evolved,
we had wireless charging in the 1990s, and they only got it in the 2400.
Right.
exactly.
2300.
But the Borg
You
went from
but-
plugging in to regenerate to wireless regeneration, and I think that's why Seven still loses consciousness. Like when she regenerates on Voyager, and the same with the kids as well. It is because it's wireless, and they need to be unconscious in order to charge, basically.
Well, he also took a lot of her Borg implants out, so I don't know how much of that was, as a human requiring sleep, with a lot of her Borg
Yeah.
components removed. I mean, yes, she needed to regenerate her Borg components, but her physiological components probably needed rest as well, more so than when she was
Yeah.
Borg. And I would also say that I do like your explanation when they're in the alcove plugged in, early Borg, and maybe even modern Borg. There's that upload, download, that uplink, downlink that's occurring. Unnecessary information is being wiped. Important information is being uploaded. New instructions or new or better or upgraded information is being downloaded. So there's a process going on while they're also recharging their batteries, if you will. So kind of three things going on, right? Upload, download, recharge. And that may require them to lose consciousness for, as this is occurring. Much like when you reboot a computer, your computer loses consciousness, for lack of a better term, while it's rebooting,
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, if you had like several dozen apps in the background on your PC that are updating while you're listening to music, and while you're on a video call, or like on a show like this, those several dozen apps are going to take forever and a day to complete their update, and you could have some form of a lag on your computer. Whereas if nothing was happening, or it was all done while your computer was dormant, if you sent your computer to sleep rather than like terminating the power kind of thing, they would upload apps. They would update absolutely fine. It's the same as on like if you run a defragmentation program on your computer. If you just let it run, it'll defrag your computer like that. Whereas if you're doing other things, it takes forever.
Well, yeah, defrag is really important when you have a hard drive. I mean, solid state can get fragmented too, but it's more the hard drive, because that's a very analog system. That
Exactly. So you think of that, and you think of the Borg when they regenerate. That's basically what's happening to those. That's basically what's happening to them. everything's been given order. Because when you defrag a computer, things are prioritized, it's all streamlined, it's all cleaned, and things like that. That's basically what's happening to the Borg when they plug in and when they regenerate. So it's like they're having uploads, downloads, defragged all at once. So they're going to need to be unconscious for that so that it can all process smoothly.
The cat is trying to kill me right now.
Well, yeah, and you're just doing this with your finger, which is just.
But look what it's doing to my arm.
Oh, she's giving you a love bite.
She thinks it's a hot dog. She's just straight down.
That's because she loves
go with the teeth. Thank you.
She's a beautiful menace.
Don't you have like strings with little
so
feathers? And aw,
it's adorable.
No, she's being. Oh, you're being all cute now that they're looking at you. What happened to the velociraptor you were just a moment ago?
Throw her at Mike.
I want a Cali cam so I could watch her all the time.
I thought that was a unit of measurement in Klingon.
Telecams, yeah.
Cali?
Telecams.
Yeah.
See, we took Cali Cam and we turned it into a Star Trek reference. Cheers.
But would we see dancing Klingons on the Cali cam?
We would on Star Trek. What was it?
Strange
Trek
New Worlds.
Strange New Worlds season 2.
Subspace Rhapsody.
8. Subspace Rhapsody. Yes.
Yep.
I love that.
We got to see dancing Klingons, rapping Klingons at that.
Klingons. And that was actually the engineer that.
Yeah, the guy that played Hemmer. Yeah, Bruce Borak.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And he says that might not be the last you see of that Klingon too. So might be coming back for season 3.
And he's not the only character that they've recycled like within the past couple years, because Arium as well, in the season after she dies, the blonde girl that's new is one of the girls who played Arium.
Jeffrey Combs one of the most used and recycled actors that Star Trek had?
Yeah.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think he's got more Star Trek credits than any other singular. Well, apart from Michael Dorn, I think. But I think he's up there.
Well, I mean, not regular. So you had regular cast, right? As guest star, because Jeffrey Combs was only ever guest. But I mean, so many on Enterprise. I think that's where he had the most.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, hasn't he been everything? I don't know if he's been a Klingon.
No,
I mean,
he hasn't.
He's been Dorian. He's been some weird wrestler guy that in Voyager that.
He was the promoter.
The promoter.
Yeah.
I think that was the one with the Rock. He was.
Yeah. I think was his.
He's been a Ferengi. He's been.
A computer.
Water.
He's been a lot of things, and he's good on all of them.
Oh yeah.
And he even did a voice of one of the computers on Lower Decks, right?
Yeah, Agamus.
What were the 2 characters he played in DS9 on the same episode? Was it Brun
and Wayun?
And Wayun, yeah. Yeah, because that was a first in Star Trek, I think, to have the same actor.
I don't know if it'll let me post it, but I just found a link. Every Star Trek.
You broke up there, Mala. What?
I'm trying to share a link. I might have to just share it in the private chat, but I found one that's every Star Trek character played by Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I shared it in the. Pardon?
I was just like that'd be a good plug to get people that aren't part of the Discord to join the Discord. I got the link scrolling down below. I created a bit.ly for it, just bit.ly/DT_fam.
Awesome.
I've never heard of Bitly.
Bit.ly's been around for what do you want to say,
Yeah,
Tyson?
you
10,
said
15
earlier,
years?
but I've still never heard
A
of it.
while.
I don't
Yeah.
even know what it does.
All it does it just shortens the URL. It says www.spankthemonkey.com/monkey. You could just do bit.ly/monkey, and bam, it redirects to the main channel. And hopefully,
How Dave
Can I have
came
questions?
to spanking the monkey, I
Yeah,
want to know.
yeah, that's what I was just going to question.
the first thing that popped into my front.
Yeah, okay, so when you think of the internet, the first thing you think of is spanking monkeys. What do you watch on the internet when you're not here with us?
Yeah.
Well,
Don't
Well, there-
ask, and don't look at his browser history.
No, please, no.
But I remember
don't
years
think-
ago that there was a website where it's like spank the monkey, and you just wiggled the mouse, and then it told you how fast you spanked it, and if you like.
I don't want to know. No, I don't want to know. No. No,
Bad
I
monkey.
feel the need to hug
Bad
a teddy. Yeah. I feel the need to hug a teddy. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I feel
my.
Oh my. But no, I'm looking for a teddy to cuddle now. Let's have a grumpy Care Bear.
That's
Yeah.
a grumpy one. Which one is that?
This is the Stormy hand crocheted by my mama.
Does he do the Care Bear stare?
You do, don't you, love? Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Keep an
ashamed of
eye on
myself that I remember that.
I mean, if any of you lot want a teddy, there's plenty on top of the bookcases. I can always try to.
The Care Bears, a Care Bear stare is when the symbol on their chest would come out and create either a rainbow or a storm or whatever their thing was.
Yeah.
And that was the Care Bear stare.
Somewhere, I have another Care Bear, but I don't know.
Anybody want to move on to the Munchie Cheese or the Snorks? I got them all. Anyway.
Munchie cheese. I love those little fellas. Well, guy and gal fella.
Way up in
They
the
were
trees,
adorable.
Munchie Cheese. Munchie. I'm too fucking old to be singing that dumb song. Munchie.
Oh, come on. At least it wasn't Puff HR Puff and stuff.
HR Puff and stuff. Oh, I've never heard of that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get that reference.
I'm so old. But okay, I have a question about the episode. And I'm just curious to know who else thought it was a little that they wanted to stymie the Borg with a geometric shape.
Well, what they wanted to do is, why couldn't they just send it back and say calculate pi? I mean,
right?
Wouldn't it be the same? I get that was. I guess the way I understand it was
why
that it looked innocuous, so it wouldn't be something that they would have, a firewall against. And somewhere in the Borg subconscious is where they would try to solve it, and so much resources would be committed to that and it would become such a oh my god, we have to figure this out problem that it would cascade. Whereas pi, wouldn't get past the front gate. It'd be like, we already know that's stupid. We're not doing that.
I think they would flag it as spam right away.
Right.
That's
my god! You wanted to see the Borg? Yeah, give them my Yahoo account and all that spam.
No, basically they would, and that's why it'd get passed around so much. They wouldn't know what to do with it. It would be spam, but they wouldn't know what to do with it because they've not come across something like that before. Any information that they get, anything they assimilate, they know what to do with.
Jordy wants to spam the Borg.
Yeah. And by the end of the episode, he wants to cozy up with them,
Right?
or at least
Well,
you.
isn't that kind of like unethical and inhumane to give someone their independence and then say, we're going to toss you back now? Like, I know he was okay with it and they got his consent, but the idea of doing that to someone, like, I recognize you, but go away.
But no, they did try to stay. They did try to convince him to stay, but at the end of the day, it was his choice. And I respect his decision.
Just
It's a brave decision. It is wrong.
Well,
It
Hugh
really
went back, but Hugh didn't bring the design back, did he?
Pardon?
Like they decided not to use Hugh as a weapon at the end.
Right.
No, they
So
decided
he
to
did
use
not
his
go back.
individuality as a weapon.
Yeah.
Right. They did, and it worked to some degree because in was it Brothers?
Picard. Oh yeah.
Was it Brothers, the one with Data and Lore?
Yeah.
And the Borg that were confused. What?
Descent.
Yeah,
Descent.
Brothers is when they go to meet their daddy.
Oh, well, there's Data Lore, there's Brothers, there's Descent. There's so many episodes where they're together. Anyway, so Descent Part 1, Descent Part 2, and it was Hugh that went back and with his sense of individuality that kind of caused that situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just seems so horrific for someone to have to live through, though.
Here's the thing I don't understand. Almost everybody they assimilated had a sense of individuality when they were assimilated.
Yes.
That never changed anything. So why would a Borg going back with a sense of individuality, which every single one in the collective already know about, unless they were born as Borg? I mean, wouldn't that happen anytime you assimilate somebody? It's like, oh my God, they were an individual once. Now they're not. Ooh, we're all fucked up. Like, why?
No. When an individual is assimilated, one of the first things that is taken away from them is their individuality, so that it does not.
And if you watch Picard, the season where Hugh, the first season where Hugh makes the appearance, like Hugh says, like, because of the Borg, I don't even know my own past because it could be someone else's. We all had the same memories.
Yeah.
And that's kind of creepy if you think about it.
That's all. You see, I never understood that. Because when someone's assimilated, this is how much I did research on the Borg. But when someone is assimilated, one of the first things that happens is that their individuality is purged and it is not allowed to enter the collective.
But
also, any useless information is stored separately and it isn't given to the drones because that emotion, lifestyles, religion, all that, it's not got rid of, but it's compartmentalized.
But that conversation that Hugh was having with Picard about those memories and everything, he was also implying that Unimatrix Zero wasn't the only Unimatrix Zero. So certain people did have memories.
Yeah, now
memories.
That just never made sense to me. That entire thing never made sense to me because it has been explained in some way, shape, or form. I just can't articulate it. I'm terrible with words. Words. But you know, it has been explained. I don't even know what series. I don't know if it's TNG or Voyager. I don't know, but everything's purged from. Like only certain information will go into the actual collectives of the drones.
But in certain species, it's still in your subconscious. And that's why Unimatrix Zero became a thing. Because you can't help what's in your subconscious.
No, that was created, yes, because of the subconscious, but that was created by a rare mutation upon assimilation. And that's how their subconscious was allowed to carry on. Basically, it wasn't that their mind was not purged properly because of this mutation.
Are you guys thinking of the
Um,
vinculum or I think the vinculum or that thing?
Vinculum,
Vinculum.
I think. But yeah, it's very weird. But then there's the episode of Voyager where, well, no, actually that does make sense. That does make sense when Seven starts suffering from the Borg equivalent of DID. Um, but that kind of makes sense because the technology is malfunctioning and
Yeah.
it does still have everything there, but it's closed off to the drones. The Queen can access it, and if it's needed, she can give it to certain drones, but it's within the collective, but it's closed off to everybody but the Queen. So it makes sense that Seven was suffering from like Borg DID because it was malfunctioning and it was leaking out. So like past experiences and things like that, like yeah, I can't explain it properly, but it makes sense in my brain. But I'm struggling to brain and form words right now. But I do have a lot of respect for Hugh with the decision that he made, and I also love the fact that he just wanted to say hi out with Geordie.
I believe he was actually pretty prominent in some of the comics as well. Like he got a bit more of a storyline once they did certain episodes like by comic. So he does have a very small origin story, but it still needs information. Oh, Callie cat. Look at that Callie butt. Sorry, I'm
She's
easily
on her own in
distracted.
the room. She's on her own in the room, so she's causing chaos or trying to.
I think Michael might be on the bed.
No, he
No,
left.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I missed it.
Oh, she's on the other keyboard now.
Gotta be on some keyboard when you're a cat. It's their job.
Yeah. Why do you think I
Techie cat.
always have a keyboard in front of me? People call me cat often enough.
Katie cat.
She's looking for the boys, I think.
Yeah, she's like, where's my chew things?
Like, how dare they leave me alone? What can I destroy? Ah!
You just sit there,
Callie.
Callie, and look gorgeous.
She looks like she's hunting something.
Maybe a moth.
Get a
She
meow
is
back.
not amused.
I'm probably saying, what the is he saying?
Yeah, and if you carry on doing that and she dives at the computer, you owe Tyson a new computer. Because it's all recorded. Evidence. He broke my computer all the way from Colorado.
Right?
I have proof. Oh, God.
I'm amazed she doesn't run out that door.
Mm-hmm.
There's a screen on it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, she's
But it's
peeking out.
It's 100 degrees outside. So, oh yeah, she's trying to get out.
She's so cute, just sitting there.
Again, this is the technically part of Technically Trek people.
Right. Callie Cam.
Yeah, and Callie has become quite the superstar. She features on 2 YouTube shows, Dangerous Thoughts and Technically Trash.
Did she
She
actually get
needs
up?
her own show
Yes.
Was she
on the
here while?
chair.
Yeah, she was on the Year of the Keyboard as well.
Did you get into the Coors Light?
No, she didn't. No, she did not.
She's looking a little woozy. Or I'm looking a little woozy. One or the other. One of us is woozy. What's going on, Kat?
Absolutely not.
We were having Callie talk.
Yes.
Because we're easily distracted.
If I get the laser
Sorry.
pointer, it'll never end.
Sean doesn't like the laser pointer. He thinks it drives the kitties nuts.
Oh, it absolutely does.
It does.
Here we go. Hold on. You want to see some Callie show? Watch this.
Oh my.
Hold on. Here, look. Look, it's over here. Look.
She'll look anywhere but at the dot. Because you
Callie.
want her to.
Callie. Look. There it is.
Oh, there you go.
Look. You see it? Look. Look.
No.
Oh, she
No,
sees it, but
she doesn't want
she's
to
not wanting
lose her. No, she don't want to lose her shit on camera. She wants to be all like prim and proper on camera.
Oh, now she wants
You know, on Temu, they have a little machine that does a laser light for you. And you could set it up on like a desk or something, and it points at the ground and does a laser light for the cat.
Good.
And how many of those have you bought, Marla?
I wish Sean would have like an absolute conniption if I bought one.
Ow, 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 ow.
He will not do laser lights with the cats. Artemis and Athena, they get like super hyper. Like we worry about them hyper. Like they look like their heads are gonna pop. They get so excited. They're like,
No. Oh, wouldn't it have been good if Data would have played with a laser pointer with Spot?
and if it just popped out of his finger,
Yeah,
that'd be
that'd be
awesome.
brilliant. I would have loved to have seen that. I would have loved to have seen Spot full on play.
I've shown you my Data doll with the spot, right? Or with the spot, right?
Yeah, I'm so jealous. I want that.
Superman tried that with his cat once, but his laser was too powerful and the cat was gone.
Oh.
So Superman learned never to do that again.
Oh, no.
That's horrible. I don't like Superman. Not anymore.
Well, and if he could turn down the laser so it wouldn't hurt it, I mean, the cat would just go right to the source. You know, that would
Kind
be
of like
hilarious.
a Homelander.
Well, Superman can
From the
control his heat vision.
Hmm?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so can Supergirl.
Good to know.
The only reason why I know that is from watching the early 90s Lois and Clark with Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher, because he uses his heat vision twice on Lois. One to warm her up and dry her off after they get drenched in the rain when she finds out that is Superman. Well, she already knows, but no, that's not the first time. The time before that, he basically kills her. And then because with his freeze breath thingy, it puts her in like a state of cryogenics, and then he uses his heat vision to bring her back.
I always thought it was at the Love Shack at Niagara Falls, but maybe I'm thinking of Superman 2.
I think that's
Yeah.
what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I know exactly where that is.
Really?
I do. I grew up in the falls. My friends and I would go to the falls in the middle of night in winter, and we would skate around with our sneakers because the mist freezes everything over with a layer of ice in the winter. And then we'd play hide and go seek in like downtown. But back then it was like Maple Leaf Gardens was there, and that's no longer there. It's changed.
Maid of the Mist? Are those boats still there? The
That's
Maids
still
of the
there.
Mist?
It is.
Nice.
I
I'd
love the
to see
falls. My parents live in the falls on the U.S. side.
God, that would be one of these days. I would love to go see Niagara Falls, but yeah. So she thinks he's Superman. She falls in. He does his laser thing and little log, hits the water, and then how did I think you were Superman? How ridiculous! She's warming up by the fire. His glasses drop, and then oh my God, you are Superman. My first thing would have been like, you motherfucker. You really are Superman, and you just made me do that whole swim.
Understand our pair of glasses, because I have my hair up. I take my glasses off. I look the same.
Oh, what happened to Tyson? Where did Tyson go? Tyson's gone. God, who's this idiot? Oh, Tyson, you're there. God, you disappeared. Where were you? Wait, where's Tyson?
That's hilarious.
Exactly. I mean, all four of us that are here wear glasses, but we still know who we are, who each other is without them.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but
John Denver was hard to recognize without glasses. I'll just to be fair. That was kind of a Superman thing when his glasses were off. You're like,
I've never had that.
I got to get up like this to see everybody without my glasses.
Oh no! But you got to remember, it was also written in the 40s. So apparently people were more stupid then.
Anyway, back to the episode.
A pair of glasses. And maybe a fedora.
Well, yeah, there was like stupidity and naivete. Then the intelligence level of the human race started rising. Then about 20 years ago, it started dropping again. And it's still dropping now.
That it is.
Actually, by the time of Star Trek, like the year 23, God knows what, hopefully there'll be a bit more intelligence in the human race, because if not, I will sell the human race out. I will. Aliens come down and I'll be like, save the DT lot, save these people and their animals and children. Other than that, have at it.
Start with the politicians.
Yeah, take those first.
Right.
Do what the hell you like with them. Eat them, torture them, throw them off the side of the ship. Whatever you want to do.
Out.
Yeah, have at it. Just leave my DT lot alone. Leave my DT family alone.
We're all ready for abduction. Let's go. Bring it on.
Yeah. Huge fans. Thank you. What an honor this is to meet you. We are groupies.
Where's the cafeteria?
Yeah, I know. Can I have your autograph?
Want to get high? Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong show.
Well, when we sell the human race out and like the DT lot goes up with them, that they might want to get high.
You never know. We'll bring the weed.
Yeah. And the mushes.
Yep. And the munchies. Those are constant.
So we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
That's it. But back to the episode, towards the end, I love the little reversal that they did with Jean-Luc and Guinan, is saying that Jean-Luc's like Guinan goes to Jean-Luc for help and guidance after seeing Hugh and saying, and it comes with one of the other great lines that Picard says is, it's not a person, it's a Borg. But she's like, no, you need to talk to him.
Yeah. She pulled a Geordie on him.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a big thing for Guinan, though. And I like that she did go to see Hugh. And we all know Guinan's history with the Borg. You know, that it is really not good. But if she can see that Hugh is an individual and he is no longer part of the collective, he is no longer being controlled, then she definitely knows that there's something, you know, and that what they're planning to do is very wrong.
But yeah, then when he pulls the Locutus card saying this, we're going to assimilate this ship, and he's like, no, we're not. He's saying, do we have to assimilate Geordie? Geordie's my friend. I don't want him assimilated. And Picard's like, what? Freaking. Picard has this realization that Hugh's evolving. He's thinking, what the only other person that has used singular pronouns was him. So
yeah.
Wouldn't it have been cool if they'd done like a little like Hugh side project spinoff, even a mini series or something of him jumping back into the collective and using that individuality to try and convert others? That would have been interesting. I'd watch that.
And I like that. But I mean, I loved the scene with Picard and Hugh when Picard tried going all Locutus on him. And you could see the struggle. I mean, I like, you know, Patrick Stewart, I will always sing his praises for the quality of his acting. And he even gets the look in the eyes right. You know, you can see, even though Jean-Luc went like all, I am Locutus of Borg, the look in his eyes, you could see that struggle. And not often that an actor will get that deep into a role where in an instant you forget that it's just a role. You know, it's not very many actors that can make me feel that way. But with Patrick Stewart, whatever I've seen him in, he makes me believe that it's real. I mean, obviously, I know that it's not because I'm not, you know, I'm grown up, but sort of. But
he was great in Excalibur.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think he makes a very good Ebenezer Scrooge as well. But you know, it's for me anyway. It's not often that an actor has made me like watch something and be like, got to keep reminding yourself it's not real love. You know, 'cause I mean, I do get really into shows. I go right into the psychological aspect of shows. That's why I get so deep into them. I get so emotionally involved. I cry so much watching certain things. I mean, to this day, I still cry watching Endgame. You know, Voyager, Endgame, and Avengers. But you know, I cry my heart out to when it's all emotional. I even teared up watching iBorg, you know, because I get so deep into it. But when it comes to Patrick Stewart, he really does make me feel like it is all real because it's right. His acting goes right down to the look in his eyes. He gets so involved in it, probably more than he realizes.
He's an amazing actor.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and this is why I love that scene so much between him and Hugh. That first one when it's just those two, because that is one moment, and especially because of the camera angles that are being used as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's just one moment where everything is believable.
Well, I apologize. I'm going to have to
I
go.
love that.
I've got 15 minutes to get ready for the 7 o'clock net. Have a great show. Rest
before
of the
you-
show, I'll go back to YouTube and watch it.
Well, before you run off really quick, Tyson.
That is so awesome.
Oh, it's signed? You got to sign by the actor?
Yep. See,
I hate
back
you.
when I was volunteering for Glisten, I just wrote to him saying, "Hey, we're doing a silent auction. Would you be willing to donate a couple signed photos?" And he sent 2, and I won one of them. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I
That's
would have
awesome.
kept one and donated the other to the silent auction, but all right. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Good night, Tyson.
But no, I really do like this episode. But you can see my cushion better now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know. I love your DT cushion.
I know.
It's
I got a cup to match it as well.
awesome.
Yeah, I got a cup and I don't know where the cup is actually. I think it's found its way into the kitchen. But now I got them
Right,
both made
because
at the
it
same
needs to be
time.
cleaned every now and then.
Well, no, because usually I don't use the cup.
Oh.
I just have it. I just have it as an ornament. But no, I think I did. I have used it a few times, and it got left in the kitchen. Rather than coming back through here. But yeah, they've both got the same. I need to get one with the new logo on though. We need to get proper merch for it. But no, it. I mean, you should see what else I've got in here.
Tyson sent you cups and they broke, right?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh dear.
That's
Yeah, because yes, they were lovely. I love those. They are so lovely. But yeah, they both broke. So now they are in storage. They are actually in my closet. And they are in storage because
Did the
I don't want
handle
them to
just
fall
break
apart.
off?
No, I could
Oh,
literally like say that this is the cup, even though it's completely different. I could literally do that and take a piece out of it
oh wow.
on both of the cups.
Because I was thinking if you glue it all together, you could use it as a pen or a pencil holder.
No, it's too. I daren't, to be quite honest, because the pieces are just so all over the place. But I still have them, and I will not ever throw them away. That's why I got the other one made with this logo on.
Yeah.
So, but no, I can't wait for BT merch. I will be buying one of them. Oh, I will. I really will.
But was there anything else like big on the episode that you guys wanted to talk about? The scene.
I don't
I
think so. There is a look at the end that Hugh gives Geordie after he's been put back into the collective.
yeah,
There was a
and
bromance going on there.
yeah, and
Oh
before
God, yeah.
before they beam down, he's like, "I do not want to forget that I am Hugh."
Yeah.
That was kind of like,
Yeah.
aw.
That was heartbreaking.
And but saying he didn't forget that he was Hugh, and things went 10 ways sideways, and he was pretty peeved when he saw Riker at the end. What are you doing here? You've done enough damage already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
I vaguely remember that. I mean, I haven't seen Descent in a few years, same as Borg. You know, I'm way behind on my Trek, people. I am very way behind on my Trek. I've seen all of them. I've seen the lot. Well, apart from Prodigy, but you know.
That was going to be
Other
something
than
else I
that,
wanted to.
I've seen all of them. I think there's about 2 or 3 episodes of TOS that I haven't seen, but I do not wish to see them. Huge respect, never on my TV. And I've not seen short tracks. I haven't seen them. I've seen the very short tracks, but I haven't seen all the short tracks. Only one. But you
Short
know,
tracks are a lot better.
it. There is so much that I have forgotten. I mean, I forgot half of what happened in this episode. I mean, I only watched it a couple of years ago, and I'm just like, I didn't know that happened in this episode. I didn't know that was said. You know, oh, I forgot about that. And yeah, so
Another sad episode, and I love it, but it is a little heart wrenching. Is the one where Data builds Lal.
Offspring.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God, I
you came
struggle
up with the
watching
name. You came up with the name before me. Kudos, Katie.
that. That is only because that is one of my absolute favorite episodes of Trek. That is in like my top
It is.
of
Me
of
too.
all. But it is one of the most emotional episodes. I cry my heart out, especially
Right?
when it says today, um, I have love for the both of us, or something to that effect. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah,
But
it's to take Frakes' first directorial episode.
Really?
I actually do wonder how Data reacted to that whole incident once he got his emotion chip.
Mm.
Because
Probably
he
had a
would have been taken back. Well, yeah, because he'd have been. I mean, you know, when he first got his emotion chip, he was all over the place. He blamed himself for Geordie getting kidnapped. You know, he couldn't cope. But then eventually things sorted themselves out. But I actually wonder. I would have loved to have seen Data go back through and remember Lal. And I'm
If
actually
he
quite
did,
surprised that she never came up in his memory monologue. I would have very much
well,
loved to have seen that in Picard.
if he had mulled over that, it probably would have involved him locking himself in his cabin, eating ice cream with a piece of chocolate, and crying for a weekend.
Yeah,
I can
but
picture
no,
that.
I would have loved to have seen Lal
I
come up
know,
in his
right?
memory monologue. That is the one.
Like,
That is the one thing that was missing from that from his memories when he was
yeah,
showing all his memories to Law.
because it
And I was
wasn't just
like,
Spot. Like, Spot was the last, but Lal was super important.
oh God, yeah, because you know she was his daughter. You know, she died. You know, and that I can't even begin to imagine how Data would have reacted about that.
But didn't
It,
he save a copy of her, like,
Consciousness.
yeah,
yeah,
just
he
in case.
basically downloaded all of her memories into his matrix.
Yeah.
Sorry, neural net. Right, I'm hoping this works.
Sorry,
Right,
you're crackling.
can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you
Now we
now.
can.
What about now?
I can still hear you, even though there's a few
I can hear
blocks.
you.
Right, no, it's just that one of my earphones are dead, so I had to change it to the other one. But when I have this one in, it doesn't seem to work properly.
That's so weird.
It is. It really is. This is why I want to get some headphones. But the ones that I've got, they're really bulky. I mean, they're really bulky gaming headphones. And they are so light. They really are. But they're just so
You're
bulky.
super crackly.
Yeah.
I don't understand why this doesn't work.
It might need to be cleaned.
No, it's always been the same since I've got them. It's the
Sorry?
same. It's fine on phone calls, but it's... Hold on. Audio.
No, like you might need to clean the little holes in the earpiece. Because they get gunked up and that affects the sound. Sorry?
Is that any better?
Oh, tons.
A little.
You sound a little more distant, but you sound a lot clearer.
Yeah.
Yes, that's because I've just transferred my microphone over to my webcam.
Yeah, but I was looking.
But I don't. Sorry, go on.
No, I was saying I was looking at the beta canon when we were talking about Data Morning Law, and it's saying in the novelizations, and it's saying he does mourn her death, and he actually has an orb experience in 2376 with the orb of memory, and
That's
the
cool.
yeah, that's the Avatar book 1. But a couple other novels, Persistence of Memory and Cold Equations, that Law's remains were kept at the Daystrom Institute with B4 and lore, and that's kind of like the beginning of what kind of tied into Picard.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, right.
Yeah, so beta canon becomes alpha canon.
I really do like that because you see, now I would read that. I would, but I don't like reading like pure beta canon. If beta canon becomes alpha, if it becomes like true canon, then I would consider reading it. But I don't like reading anything beta canon fan fiction. I don't like reading anything like that because it's just like, well,
you'll definitely not like the Coda trilogy though. Then
the what?
The Star Trek Coda. It's a trilogy that came out a couple of years ago, right before Picard. So, I mean, the big spoiler: everyone dies, pretty much.
Great.
Well, this is the thing.
They're killing people off left and right. I'm just like, what the fuck? What the?
This is why I don't like reading fan fiction and metacanon, because they can basically do anything with it. I take my hats off to the writers, nothing against the writers themselves, but because it does take a lot to create. I know that from experience. It does take a hell of a lot to create. So I'm not insulting the writers in any way, but I personally don't like reading fan fiction and beta canon because they can do anything with it, and it will contradict true canon, and that's what I can't. This is why I don't like TOS. I have a lot of respect for it. However, the entire thing contradicts itself constantly. So that's why I don't like TOS. Because something will happen, then a bit later, something will be said about what happened, and it's like, hold on, it didn't happen like that at all. What the hell is happening here? And this is what beta canon does with actual canon, and that's why I don't read it. But I am happy that it is written so that those who do want to read it, can.
But
I found a Star Trek book in my library not long ago. I thought I brought it out here, but I can't remember where I put it.
even though Coda is beta canon, they instilled a lot of alpha canon stuff, like the Davidians from Time's Arrow are the main antagonists in that trilogy.
Yeah, a lot of beta canon does across various franchises and that, and like fan fiction and stuff. It mixes canon with you know, non-canon. But I don't like the contradictions it causes. I think it's brilliant that these things are being written for the fans, and you know, just people in general who like sci-fi and fantasy. However, I personally don't like it because of all the contradictions it causes.
That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why they pretty much killed everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Guardian of Forever was killed.
Well, that's not on.
Oh, here it is. Star Trek 6.
Oh, yeah, I remember you showing a picture of that the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was like the early novelizations.
Yeah. I was so excited to
Wow.
find that in my library. I was just puttering around in there, and I'm like, ooh, I didn't realize I had that. I think I've
You know
got
what?
a couple.
It's amazing what you find.
I know, right?
It really, yeah.
I know I have a few Star Trek Next Generation and Deep Space Nine comic books, but I don't have like a lot of them.
I have one graphic novel, and I got that out of a mystery box. Literally, that is the only thing. The only thing Star Trek that I have is some of the DVDs on movies. Switch that around and you'll get the idea.
Yeah.
And that basically. And then I've so there's the DVDs. I don't know what I've got in those. I think it's just First Contact, Insurrection, and then I think the 3 Kelvin timeline ones. And then I've got the graphic novel, and then I have one tiny pin badge that is a demisexual one. So
Nice.
that is literally all I've got. That is Star Trek.
Yeah, see, I got all 13. I got all 13 movies.
I tell a lie. I actually have, and I need to find these and get them hung up somewhere in here where they can be seen. Possibly with my feather boa. But I have actually got some glass handmade. They're like just little decorations, but one of them is the Klingon symbol. I can't remember what the other one is. I think it's actually the Starfleet badge.
Mm.
Oh, nice.
Or like the com badge. But they're about this big. And yeah, like I say, one of them's the com badge, and the other one is the Klingon symbol. But yeah, literally they are the only things Trek that I have. And I need to get me a proper com badge like that.
I know Dave has at least one.
We'll say I have one with the magnetic back, so I can wear it. And it chirps, and see, I got
I want one of those.
And same back there on my corkboard, I got the Next Gen and the DS9 com badges that are just the regular little pin, had the little pins on it.
I really want a com badge. That's the magnetic ones. I really do.
Nice.
But no, I don't know how much they are. I don't. But you can actually No, I'm not on about those ones. This is something else that I'm on about now. I don't know how much they are, but you can actually now this is what I've been told, and I'm sure that I've seen one. You can actually use it to make a phone call.
So
It's
it's a Bluetooth
com
badge.
This one. It's Bluetooth.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's Bluetooth, and it relays from your phone, and it can connect with earphones as well, but you can actually use it as a microphone.
That's cool.
And
This one.
yeah, and I really want one of those because honestly, I would really freak people out with it.
Yeah.
I really would. I would, because you see, my phone is constantly on silent, but when I've got earphones in, I hear it ringing.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that I'm getting a phone call. But if nobody knows that I'm getting a phone call, I could just quite easily go, hello? And tap my comm badge and really freak people out. Oh, I would. I so would. I really would.
That'd be funny.
It'd be so funny. Oh, it would.
I will be right back there.
Well, I was just actually gonna. Well, wait for you to get back.
Yes.
Now, if I figure we're at the 2-hour mark, we can take a quick break and switch over to Discord to continue this conversation. Because for being Wednesday, it's thinking, well, it might just take another week or two for people to get used to the new day and time. Hopefully, it doesn't. Trying to think of the right adjective.
It will take time.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, an earlier time might not be best for people.
Yeah. I mean, well, not best for. Oh, I see a tail. Not sure which tail, but I saw a tail. I'd say it would definitely benefit people on the East Coast and over yonder your way, but West Coast it might not as much. We'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, it helps me out a bit because it allows me to continue my sober journey, going to 2 AA meetings a week, Tuesdays and Fridays.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying about the day. I'm saying about the time.
Well, yeah, the time.
It all depends. But we'll just see how things go. I mean, if
we'll play with it for 5 o'clock if it.
And I think when we get a little more like sharing of the new date and time, we'll see like
yes, definitely.
More people
well, I got to talk with Manu and Cassie. We should. Well, I should be talking about the Sunday show more often. They should talk about my show as well. For people that want.
I always mention DT on Technically Track, and you know, just to remind everyone.
But yeah, see, I create.
Sorry.
Is that Moloch?
I've got to add the link to the description on the weekly shows for YouTube. I've got to add the link to your channel, and I'll put a notice that it's changed to Wednesdays at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern.
Yeah, and definitely use my Bitly because that's a lot. I think that's a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure.
It goes with my Techno Dave.
You're breaking up, Dave.
Right. Well,
Oscar stole.
Yeah, I saw a tail. I was like, oh, which tail is that?
The Techno Cat that loves the Techno Dave.
Are we ending and hopping over onto Discord?
Yeah. It's like, give me a few minutes. I might venture out, take care of some business, and pop in for a little bit. But like I said, I gotta be out the door at like 6:15, 6:30 to take that customer to Denver airport. So start off
Yeah,
the
well,
day
it's
with,
going to take me about 10 minutes to get things, like 10, 15 minutes to get things transferred back over to my room anyway.
okay, so let's just say bottom of the hour.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'll be on way before that. I'll like, like 20 past or something.
Okay.
And I'll only be on Discord till about 11:30 because we've got some plans tomorrow too.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I'll say, but yeah, that 10, 15 minutes should reconvene.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, others will talk to you next week. Well, we talk about Child's Play.
Yes.
Child's Play.
More Borg.
Peace out.